Hi everyone, I've got another video for you, and it's something that seems to be coming up a lot lately. Have you got a repeating issue that keeps coming up for you over and over again? So a repeating pattern that keeps spinning and circling into your reality over and over again. You think you've sort of lost it, you think you've moved away from it, and then a year later there it is. When I'm talking about repeating patterns, when there are big major repeating patterns that happen for you. So when I say repeating patterns, obviously what I mean is a similar situation that seems to happen to you, that you appear to be a victim of. Okay? So an example of a repeating pattern, it could literally be anything for you. It's personal to everybody, but examples of repeating patterns are perhaps certain fears, certain situations that happen to you. You could be like a hopeless romantic or something. So every time you get into a relationship, before you know it, they've left. You could have issues with, certain relationships with people in jobs, or every time I'm in a certain job, I seem to attract a certain type of boss that is not very nice to me that picks on me a bit. Or I've got this issue where this deeper issue of jealousy that comes up a lot, or I seem to attract narcissists into my reality, or I've got this problem where I fear losing people, and I think I'm okay with it, and then suddenly I get this wave of fear that I'm going to lose somebody. Or another example could be that you're in relationships for a certain amount of time, and then suddenly you can never seem to settle, and then the same thing keeps happening where you're not settled and you've got itchy feet in relationships, and there's nothing that really appears to be going on that's bad in the relationship, and it's all really good, but you've got itchy feet and your eyes are wandering, you're not quite sure why, and then you end up sabotaging it. It could be literally anything, that comes up for you constantly. An anxiety, maybe a certain depression or an anxiety, a pain in the body. You could have a repeating pain that comes back for you. So you've got pain in your lower back that keeps coming back. You think you go to the doctors, you get some tablets, you get some painkillers for it, and it sorts it out for a little bit, and then you come off them, and then a year later, here's that pain again, here's that pain. Why does this keep happening to me? And the answer is, the reason it keeps coming in to your life all the time as a repeating pattern is because every time it's coming in, it's giving you an opportunity to look at it differently. How can I look at this repeating pattern that drives me insane, that really affects my life adversely? How can I look at it and perceive it differently? How can I look at it this time differently to how I dealt with it last time? Is this something in this pattern that is quite obvious that I seem to be missing, that as soon as I notice that, it can change it? How can I no longer be a victim to this? I've always seen myself a victim to this repeating pattern. Perhaps people attack you verbally a lot. Perhaps you seem to be someone who attracts people who are disrespectful to you. At a deeper level, there is a subconscious programming in your subconscious, unconscious, that is whirling that back in for you all the time. There's something going on at a deeper level that is a vibrational match to that situation, constantly coming back to you all the time. So you might feel like you're free of it for a bit, and you get a little bit of a breather from it, and boom, there it is again. The repeating patterns, every time that pattern is coming to you, instead of going, I'm a victim to this again, this is spun into my life again, and I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm a victim to this, it's causing me a lot of suffering. And we look at that situation and we feel victimized by it. Yes, I understand why we feel victimized from it. From our point of view, it could be something that's really debilitating for you, and it just gets you down. So from our point of view, we're a victim to that. But everything that is being attracted into your space via situations, people's feelings, fears, whatever it is, is a match to you vibrationally. So there's nothing outside of you happening to you or coming at you. That is the illusion, guys. The person that keeps being derogatory towards you, perhaps, for example, that person is actually not outside of you. You're attracting that person into your space because that person constantly is trying to teach you what limiting narrative you've got going on that keeps attracting it to you all the time. How can you flip whatever belief system or program that you've got running on its head so that you no longer attract that anymore? How can you? And sometimes all you have to be aware of is that it's a repeating pattern. So, when these things happen, like the same type of situation might be happening to you, but with different players, different people. Oh, why are people always so disrespectful towards me? Rude. I haven't done anything. But actually, have you got a belief system running? Because the belief systems is what shapes the reality. I keep saying this, I know, but this is how it works. Have I got a belief system running that says that people are always really disrespectful to me? Was there someone once in the past that was very disrespectful to you? And now you've got that belief system running that says people are always really disrespectful to me. Are you disrespectful towards yourself at a deeper level? And is this why you're attracting other people that seem to be disrespectful towards you as well? See if whenever this pattern comes up, how can you look at it differently? How can you change your perception of it so that it no longer triggers and affects you like it once did? How can you heal it or deal with it so that it no longer keeps circling into your life all the time? Because it's just there to give us an opportunity to gain something from it, learn something from it, and become wise to it. Anything that's making us feel disempowered is an out of alignment belief system that's false. So, and sometimes what happens is these huge things patterns that keep coming into our lives, say you're in a relationship, and every time you're in a relationship, everything seems to be going well and they just leave you or something like that. And you think, what have I done? Is there something in the lineage that's a template that you're pulling through into your life now? Is that something that happened as part of your lineage a lot? And that program is running within you now. Could you be the one in your lineage to say, right, I'm going to change this then? And when you heal that pattern, you're actually healing it for your whole lineage. Even when they've passed away, you're healing it for your whole lineage. You're healing it on all dimensions of time, not just for yourself. You're actually healing that limiting program. So these programs and these things that seem to happen to us and cause us to suffer, every time they're coming in, they're giving us a new opportunity to look at it differently, to heal it differently, to be more aware of what it's trying to show us. So pains in the body, for example, like I said earlier, if you've got a pain in the body that keeps coming up for you, it could be because what happens is we go to the doctors, I've got this terrible pain, they flood you with painkillers, and then basically what you're doing is you're blocking what that pain is trying to communicate to you, because that pain is giving you information about your body. It's giving you information about maybe something in your lifestyle or some negative thought or some lower vibration that you're holding that you need to let go of. But when we're taking these painkillers, we're blocking what that's trying to tell us. So it goes away for a bit, and then a few minutes later, boom, there it is again. You can speak to that pain and ask it, right, tell me this time what message you are trying to get to me that I wasn't listening to in any other way, that you've had to show up in pain in my body. It's become that drastic that you've got to give me pain for me to pay attention to you and not take painkillers and ignore you. Pains in the body, disease, discomfort in the body is always trying to give you information, guys. It's always just information. I know that this is not how we're used to dealing with pain. We're used to just blocking it off and hoping that it goes away. And then when it comes back, we get angry because it's come back. I can never seem to shift this pain. Why does it keep coming back? What's it trying to tell you? What does it need you to do differently to feel into what that pain is really trying to tell you that you're not doing when when you're getting the tablets that you're getting, that is just blocking the symptom of it? That's another example of a repeating pattern. And sometimes all you need, if you've got this issue, if you think, oh my God, that's me, I keep getting the same thing happening to me all the time, it's very empowering knowing that the person that can change these situations is you and nobody else. You don't try and change the outside mirror of reality. That ain't gonna work. You have to change something that's running, a program that's running within you that keeps somehow attracting this to you. I know that's hard to take on board because a lot of us will say, well, I would never want that to happen to me on purpose. Are you trying to say to me that it's all my fault? We're not consciously aware of it. But as soon as we become consciously aware that there may be something running as a program subconsciously within us that keeps that coming back to us all the time, then we can become powerful because we know, right, I don't need to change anybody else. I've been fighting a losing battle trying to change people and get them to act differently towards me. I've been avoiding all sorts of things in my life so that I can avoid this phobia or fear that I've got. And all I ever needed to do was change myself so that that pattern no longer shows up for me. All these patterns are doing is actually, they're only ever trying to help us. It doesn't always seem like that at the time, but they're just trying to help us to see something differently to how we saw it last time. And as soon as we've got the awareness of that, as soon as we realise that it's even a repeating pattern and we say, right, here it is again, right, I'm aware of it now, how can I see it differently? Just that pure awareness of it can start to change it. And you might find then when it shows up for you again, it shows up slightly differently and maybe not as intense or something. There's somebody that I know that always had a problem with very bosses that used to bully him all the time. You know, every job I go to, I seem to get a boss that bullies me, but she doesn't bully anyone else. She just bullies me. And they always seem to be women. And what he realised was that he had a limiting belief and a wound running from childhood when he had a narcissistic stepmother that used to bully him and not allowing him to be free, and used to, keep him in line in a way that wasn't very favourable. So because he didn't deal with that at the time, he didn't realise he had to deal with it, that pattern kept coming up to show him, hang on, you've still got this program running, it's not great. Can you heal it? Can you look at it differently? And as soon as he flipped the belief system from I always attract narcissistic women into my space to I always have very harmonious relationships with my managers, that manager that used to bully him left the company. And all he had to do was change himself. He didn't have to change the person. Do you see how it works? So I hope that helps you. This is the type of thing I do to help people. I help people with subconscious reprogramming, clear, cancel, delete all of those old programs that are not serving you so that these patterns stop coming up. So if you've got any questions for me, then please do let me know. And I hope that helps, and I will see you again soon. Bye.